Hey there guys, we're taking a look at Mirror's Edge Catalyst running on the AMD Ryzen 5 5500U. Now this is of course currently running at 1080p with the lowest possible settings with the 16GB of RAM. And I always forget to mention this, but all gameplay is recorded with an external capture card hooked up to a separate PC so that the recording that you see here is not in any way affecting the gameplay at all. As far as the laptop is concerned, it doesn't even know it's being recorded. And this is done to give you the most accurate numbers possible. Now in terms of the actual performance we're getting here at 1080p, it's pretty decent. 1% lows of 34 are not necessarily a bad experience. It's certainly not going to be the smoothest gaming experience, but it is very consistent, especially in this scenario where the averages are just in the mid 40 range. So 1080p is definitely doable here at the lowest settings. Just don't expect it to be the most groundbreaking experience you've ever had here, and there will be occasional stutters here and there. But you should definitely still be able to finish the entirety of the game like this. And if you didn't have the FPS counter there, I think you could just get used to playing the game like this. With that said though, if we drop the resolution, we do gain a bit of performance headroom. As you see here, running the game at 720p actually gives us a very noticeable performance uplift. We're now comfortably at or above 60 pretty much the entirety of the time. And while visually it does take a hit in terms of the resolution, the performance uplift is just a night and day difference. This is definitely one of those games where you should just mess around with trying to force FSR into it. Overall though, the performance uplift is big enough that we can actually start to mess with the graphics settings if we're willing to sacrifice a little bit of the performance here, because of course we do have just a 60 FPS cap on this laptop monitor anyway. So if we can improve the visuals and still maintain a 60 FPS average most of the time, then we should be able to have a good time here. And of course, setting things to medium actually does give us a visual improvement at 720p while not sacrificing much of the overall gaming performance. You do see that the 1% lows do dip down a bit here, but it's nothing dramatic and the averages are still staying at that 60 FPS range that we were really targeting here. And really, I think this is how I would probably just play the game, because this is going to look better and perform better than 1080p did at the lowest settings, at least in terms of the visual quality of objects and stuff like that. There is still just a noticeable blur to everything because of the fact that we are dropping the resolution pretty dramatically. But again, you can try to see if you can force FSR into this. I've been messing around with that with a few games, and I do plan on making a video showing you guys a bunch of different games where FSR being forced in actually looked good and performed good. Overall though, you should be able to play the game perfectly fine here, and just going based off of the RAM usage we're seeing here, I don't think 8GB would have been that limiting, but it definitely would have affected those 1% lows. So I would recommend just playing this game with 16GB. It really seems to be the perfect pairing for this game. But anyways, I hope you found this video useful. If you did, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.